Hi, and welcome to Next EduTech's first screencast. This is a screencast of George Mason's custom X panels that we use to support our digital media classrooms. As mentioned in the blog post, this is doing this because I've had a couple of interesting discussions this week about support tools for techs. And the idea is to show you what we're using to support our classrooms and enable our support technicians to provide remote support to our faculty in our environment. What you're seeing right now is the first screen you'll see when you pull up one of our X panels. This right now is a executable X panel using Crestron's Xpanel system. We are starting to look at to transition to web-based X panels. We found the active X panels don't work really well with a Windows 7 environment, and we're actually starting to develop our X panels in Flash and also starting to look to the Core 3 UI X panels. But right now, the majority of our support we provide is via the executable X panel, so that's what I'll be demonstrating. This is your base screen that a technician would see when they launch a room-specific X panel. It shows what room they're looking at. This is pulled from an XML file on the processor. There also is the power state, the system's power state, as well as it's locked or unlocked, and that'll be reflected on the touch panel. For example, if it's locked, and I now click on our touch panel view, which emulates what the faculty see, you'll see that the touch panel is showing as locked. If we go back to system view and I unlock it, it's now available for use. I'll get more into the systems view a little bit as we go along, but to give you an idea, we have a touch panel view, which emulates what the faculty sees. We have a device view, which allows you to drill into each device. We have the system view, which is kind of a systems way of looking at devices. And then we have an error view, which will actually show if there's any errors going on in the system. Touch panel view, this is your basic and average George Mason touch panel. Have a clock, have the room. Found that's very helpful because we use the same interface in all of our classrooms. We also do some institutional branding as well as the Division of Instructional Technology branding. To get started, it's really straightforward to a faculty member. You would click Start, and all of your sources are generally on our left. Volume controls and blank screen is generally on our right. And we try to keep this consistent throughout all of our touch panels, regardless of size. This particular screen is emulating a 4-inch, the 4SM touch panel. When you get into device view allows you to drill into each individual element. This is to provide the technicians with the maximum amount of control so they can do solutions if they need to, or also pull diagnostic data. You can pretty much click through to just about everything. For example, here's our document camera, and this is some higher levels of control even than we provide the faculty. You have our DVD, VHS, DVD side, VHS side, power and whatnot. We have control for our C2N VEQ4, which is our DSP. This shows what's going on the mixers, the cues for the room. We use channel 1 and 2 for program audio. In rooms that have speech reinforcement, channel 3 is used for speech. Generally, our setup is program left, program right, lavalier microphone, and then handheld microphone, which would be a typical speech room. Want to note that all this fantastic programming is not something I'm even going to remotely claim responsibility for. We have a fantastic staff Crestron programmer who has really done a fantastic job putting this all together. Some of the other device settings to point out, we've provided emulation, the DM 8x8 switcher, which is really the core of our system. I'll come back and go through this a little bit more after I start up the system. but it just gives you an idea of what we're really trying to provide our technicians. We also have the amp, um, which just gives you information about what's going on there, and then our UPS, which will give you the information that it will report. This has actually been kind of good for us to monitor because we've found that sometimes that things that shouldn't be on the UPS have been put on the UPS by various integrators. So we've gotten to know what is a typical power load and what is a atypical power load for our standard room configurations. Also, again, we have projector information, and when it's powered on, you'll see a little bit more information. Similarly to the device view, you also have systems view for those who prefer to look at it as the system flows. So this just allows someone who wants to see what's going on to kind of work through the signal flow both on the audio side and on the video side. And I'll come back here after I power on the system so you can see how things like no source or no selection will actually dynamically change to reflect what's going on. So if I go back to the touch panel view and I hit startup, uh, the way we have our systems programmed is the projector does not come on until you select a source. So I'm going to start by selecting, actually I'm going to select a dock camera so we can create some information in the DM 8x8. During this time, faculty members trying to use touch panel are locked out. As you can see, I'm trying to click and nothing's changing. We found this really works better as faculty members just need some feedback, and this is the visual feedback we provide, but also is to prevent the click 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 scenarios, which I've seen a lot over the years, where because this stuff doesn't happen instantaneously, they keep on hitting the source expecting something to happen. By locking someone out, we found that we probably will save a call or two a week or a day even, just because they're getting visual feedback that something's in progress and they're not going to try to keep on clicking through waiting for something to happen. This will scroll through and it should be just about done. And now if you were in the room, what you would see is the projector beyond the dot camera is routed to the projector, and now the faculty member would have full control to change sources. So they definitely have options at this point. Uh, Now I'm going to go ahead and go back to device view and just give you a little bit more of a drill in on one of the components, which really is where we have the most functionality for our technicians. This is the DM8x8, which is the heart of our system as far as a switcher. This supports both analog and digital sources, and particularly when you get into digital, you need to know what's coming into your system. Walk you through our switcher. This is the first source is the PC. That is coming over a DVI, and it does support HDCP if it's sending HDCP. The document camera is also coming over DVI, but it is a non-HDCP source. The laptop connection is actually a VGA connection. This is an auxiliary connection that the user can plug their laptop in. And the RCA is an auxiliary RCA composite video connection we provide. HDMI is an auxiliary HDMI connection, and DVD VHS is an HDMI DVD VHS that we provide for the faculty. As you can see right here, it is in fact HDCP authenticated. We also provide the same level of drill-in for our technicians that they can get from DM tools, most of the diagnostic stuff. So for example, if I were to click on setup, anything that could be mapped, we did map, so you get additional information about the stream. If this had been an analog source, you can actually do source adjustments. We pull up the keys if it's transmitting that information. Similarly, from the DVD VHS, here you can see that we're pulling in authentication and key information. So again, this is really trying to provide our technicians with the max amount of data we can provide them. On the output side, they can in fact override what's going on and create their own video and audio routes. We generally do not recommend this, and we haven't really found scenarios where they would need this, but just in case, the information is there. We're also providing the EDIT information that we pull out of the projector. Similarly, on our third output, which is a local HDMI, it's actually an HDMI which goes to a DVI monitor. We're providing the same information that we pull out of the EDIT table. So this just gives you an example of what's going on in our switcher. The other device which I'll pull up and let us take a look at, let's see, you'll have a little bit more information now in our amp now that the system is on. We do some green features where if we're not sending any signal, the amp will start to time itself out. Also, as you start looking into the systems view, now you'll start seeing the audio chain, and we have some custom configurations based on which device. Probably document camera isn't the greatest device, so if I switch back to the PC, and now I go back to the systems view and I go into audio, again, you'll start seeing the PC go through the chain. You'll also see, as far as the routing, the systems view will update the audio routing. Or sorry, we'll update the video routing as well. Last page, and this is something which hopefully we never have to visit, but we do have. We've built in some custom error reporting. This is based on error conditions which exist in each device. If those error conditions exist, like cards are offline or outputs are offline, that information will be reported here. So the technician will actually have specific data on what's going on with the system. The system will also display the last message. In this case, it was a positive systems message, which the TPMC4SM, the touch panel, came back online. So that's our system in a nutshell. I'm going to go ahead and end class right now, which is the way we shut the system down. And then again, we give feedback and lockout to prevent the faculty member from trying to turn the projector on too fast or anything else like that. So I hope you found this helpful, and hopefully it'll give you something to think about as you design support tools for your organization. Thank you.